Hello. I just wanted to start this video by saying thank you so much for all your beautiful, kind, loving messages. That really moves me every day a lot, and I'm so glad that you're getting value out of, the videos. So that's why I'm uploading them. And I got to connect with so many of you the past weeks, and it felt so beautiful to meet you and hear about your stories and work with you. So thank you for your trust and thank you for connecting. When I started this channel, I really started it with the intention to create a loving community of kindness, of support, of respect, of heart-centeredness. And you've given me so much love. I'm getting emotional. So I just wanted to say a big thank you. And as I'm saying that, the sun is coming out just a tiny bit. Oops, now it's gone again. All right, shall we get into the video? Life is a process and our soul is the compass. So that has been a lesson that was for me very hard to learn. Like, as I'm saying that, I'm visualizing in my head like a little toddler who's having a tantrum because I had lots of tantrums in the process of understanding. And honestly, sometimes I'm still, and I think this is part of the human journey of, this is part of life's journey to accept the process, surrender to the process, and also, be in the discomfort of the process, in the discomfort of not knowing what comes next, not knowing if you're on the right path. Sometimes there's more clarity and sometimes there's less clarity. And so many sessions that I had in the past 2 weeks with you guys, there was a lot, the notion that was reoccurring of, I've done so much work and I still don't feel okay. I feel better maybe, but I still don't feel okay. And I don't know what else to do. And, I know that feeling, and that sometimes can feel really frustrating and like, like you've done so much and where is it? Why is it not happening yet? Whatever it is that you want to happen. And what I've learned in my journey around that is to, whenever that frustration came up for me, that bitterness or that, sadness, or even that feeling of I'm a victim of life in a way. And again, I'm not saying that to judge anybody. I feel like we all feel like that sometimes, and that's okay. It's part of the human journey, But when we do this kind of inquiry work, this self-discovery work, we often get so caught up in finding the next thing that's wrong or finding the next solution, or and often the solution is stopping, breathing, and finding peace in what is right now. And I know it's easier said than done, and still this may be the lesson you're supposed to learn right now. Let's say you're in a place where you don't know what's coming next, don't know what else you can do. And they're walking people behind me and it feels awkward. And I want to stop the video, but I will not, because I'm with you and I trust you and you're going to be my partner in this weird expression in the forest with other people. So let's take this example. I feel really uncomfortable right now to shoot this video, and part of me just wants to stop it and be like, oh no, it's embarrassing. People see me with a camera, but is it really embarrassing, or am I just making it up? Is it okay to be seen, and to be seen as weird, and to be seen as acting differently than most people do? And I think it is. And sometimes you need to let yourself be cringy and, be seen as different, and let people think what they need to think without us having to, control the narrative and make sure that we are accepted and understood and loved, because we will not always be accepted, understood, and loved. And I think as adults, it's okay to make peace with that. And I just made it. Let's take a breath. You have to celebrate the little wins, That's what I want you to learn. So wherever you are in your process right now, the sensation that I have right now, going through this little experience, and I know it's just a tiny thing, but for some of us it may be huge, it depends where you're at in your journey. And there's no better or worse in the journey, by the way. So right now my heart is opening. I'm feeling like, okay, let people think you're weird. Okay, let people wonder or judge. And by accepting myself that I'm doing what I'm doing right now, I actually create union within. And that's really powerful, because when we create a little more union within with every action that we take from love, then, how can it be wrong? And again, we all make mistakes. And if these people would have stopped me now and said, what are you doing? Oh my God, are you filming yourself in the forest? How embarrassing. Then I could have been like, okay, yeah, that's who I am. That's what I'm doing. Without having to justify myself or make it something excruciating or awkward. Why can I not just be that? And again, this is a tiny example of what some of us may go through right now, in terms of, I don't know if I should allow myself to write a book. And I'm speaking for anybody, this is not me, just giving you examples. I don't know if I should write a book, if I should allow myself, because it's really about allowing yourself. So how do you know you're on the right track? If something inside of you, in your heart, if something inside of you from a true place, from an honest and pure place, wants something or, desires something, how can it be wrong? It's just about you learning to discern. Yeah, that's why I'm saying let your soul be your compass. It's about discerning, what are my true soul desires? What are my true soul callings? And what do I do in order to create a perceived sense of safety in the world? Yeah, where am I afraid? And often, and that's also been a topic in the sessions the past couple of weeks that I had with many of you guys, the topic was often around, I'm coming, I'm allowing myself to grow, I'm going there, and then something snaps and I fall back. And I just want to let you know, this is part of the human journey. And there will always be, especially if we are growing, to overcome our fears, our inner limitations, our limiting beliefs, our wounds, our pain that we carry with us from old prior experiences in the past. Whenever we are allowing ourselves to grow, it's it takes time, and sometimes there's a fallback. And sometimes we fall back and we go forward. We fall back and we go forward. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That just means your system needs some time to feel safe enough to take the next step. Now, how can you support this process? You can support this process by checking in with your nervous system and seeing, where do I not feel safe right now? Where am I maybe trying to run away? Maybe that's not physical, maybe that is emotionally, maybe that is mentally. Where am I trying to, grab onto outside stimuli or other people and searching for something or someone in the outside world to save me in a way? And I've done that too, obviously. Again, it's part of the human journey, and it's nothing you need to judge yourself around. But where am I doing that? By inquiring and asking yourself those questions, you are creating clarity for yourself of where you are at. And sometimes it is, when we feel like, I'm doing everything, I still don't feel, how I want to feel. Stop all the things you're doing. Take inventory of where you are at right now. And ask yourself, where am I not accepting who I am, how I am? Because a lot of people that I've worked with, you're so good at looking where something is wrong and not working, or finding even the pains that you have, and that's high self-awareness. And at the same time, we're getting then so caught up in fixing, in healing, that we're forgetting to have fun, that we're forgetting to be silly, that we're forgetting to live, and to take a break and realize, I'm okay. Because when you've done a lot of inner work, you need also some integration time. You need some time to unwind, to take a walk, to let it all sink in, to not search for what is wrong, what else is wrong or whatever. Don't search, feel, be here and feel. Sorry, there's a plane somewhere around, or a helicopter. Because we're gonna use this now. Hear that annoying sound? This is the headache that you're giving yourself by searching for what's wrong. This is the headache in your head, or the overthinking in your head. How can you find tiny joys today? For me, I love the forest, no matter what weather. I saw there were some snowflakes outside today. And I know that may sound silly, and if you find that silly, notice it. Notice this is not gonna save me. Because maybe you're too caught up being what you perceive to be an adult. And here we come back to our inner child. The inner child needs nourishment. The inner child doesn't need to hear, you're still not, restricting enough food. You're still not meditating enough. You're still not pretty enough. You're still not this and that enough. You're still not spiritual enough. You're still not psychic enough. You know what I mean? You're basically applying the principles and the way that you've been living before you started inquiring the self, or discovering yourself, or doing this inner work. You're applying the same principles to the inner work. Maybe not all of you, but I've done it, for sure. I've done it. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, I am the parent that was very strict to me. And now I'm doing it to myself. So I want to invite you, to enjoy the path and the process. For a long time, I couldn't enjoy the difficult places that I've been in. And Lord, have I been in difficult places. But now I know that when I feel frustrated, and again, feel the frustration. It's not about not feeling it. It's not about not feeling sad. It's not about not feeling angry or, helpless. Allow yourself to feel it, and then also realize, okay, let me step out of this. Let me realize I'm feeling sad, frustrated, angry, helpless, whatever it is. Okay, what am I learning right now? Where am I at right now? And how can I make this place that I am in right now a home? Even if it's so uncomfortable, how can I make it a home? Where can I allow myself rest? Where can I allow myself to take action? And often, many of us force ourselves forward. Yeah, we force ourselves forward to a degree that at some point we don't have the energy or the courage to move further in that forceful way. And that's when we snap back and fall back. And again, there's nothing wrong with falling back. There's a reason why that is happening, for you to see that force is not the way. And that your soul will always guide you through the way of excitement and curiosity. And sometimes that may feel like, ooh, I don't want to go in that direction because that feels scary. But underneath this, the fear is often like, ooh, I'm excited. Like, I just launched a training for sound therapy practitioners. And I wanted to do that for years. I made notes, and I wrote down everything that inspired me and that I wanted to be part of this training. And for years I didn't do it because I just didn't feel ready. And I was afraid. What are people going to think? Is this good enough? Am I professional enough? And I just came to a point where I did so much grounding and creating safety in myself and creating self-acceptance within me that I felt like, I think now is the time to create the program. You can force yourself forward, but that's often when, the opportunities that we have, we sabotage or don't happen because, or something falls through, because often we don't feel grounded in ourselves to believe or know that you can do that this is for me, that you're worthy of something and deserving of something. Yeah, that's sometimes why we snap back into more difficult places, because there's still a lesson there. And I know it's hard, but how can you accept where you're at right now and find wisdom and learning in where you are? Let's say I would snap back now and be like, oh my God, I cannot do this training. I don't feel equipped. I don't feel, able or capable. And I would fall back and be like, nobody will sign up. It's going to fail. It's all not, I won't be welcome, blah, 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 blah. Or whatever. You have your own examples. Let's say I would fall back to that and be like, in my own little world of, again, something didn't work out, and, something like this. You get the idea. What I would do is be like, all right, universe, what am I not seeing? And immediately, do you see my smile? Because I know now that I only get into those places to grow and to learn something new about me. And not everybody is going to get this message that I'm sharing with you, because there will be a lot of triggering emotions coming up. But I'm sharing that because we're self-responsible if we decide to be. And even in the darkest places, you can find hope. And when you are in that place, you can ask yourself, how can I create safety for me? What do I need right now? Why did I snap back? And what else is there for me to learn? We can also talk about relationships, because it's the same principle. Yeah, so for me, in my last relationship, I when we decided to uncouple, I felt like, why is this happening again, this situation? You know, it feels like it's always happening the same way. And I just had to be in that place again for me to learn something that I hadn't realized before. And that for me was, you know, my self-worth in specific ways. And also that I was maybe not fully going for what I wanted in a partner. And also, you know, like I could give you a million examples right now. You have your own. But it's really about, you know, where am I not showing up in my authenticity? You know, and it's less about you having to change yourself. It's actually not at all about you having to change yourself. It's about, how can I accept myself more? How can I make a home in myself? And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't find a home in other people. But sometimes when we attract the wrong people, quote unquote wrong, like that we feel don't treat us with respect and love, or the way that we hope to be connected to someone, if we repeatedly attract the same kind of people, and we have this narrative of, people always betray me, or something like that, then this is the story we're telling ourselves. And if this is the story we're telling ourselves, this is the reality we create around ourselves. And that's not woo-woo, this is like literally science. You know, like this is so clear. If you ever had a realization and you stepped out of a narrative, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you suddenly see the world with other eyes. And that's what it is. Like, be careful about how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself. And sometimes people come into our life to mirror what we deserve, and they treat us maybe so much better than we treat ourselves, and then we learn from the outside, you know, how we deserve also to love ourselves. But often we get mirrored where we are not in love with ourselves, where we're not in sync and harmony with ourselves. And that is, I know, the harder lesson. Or maybe it's not the harder lesson, because sometimes we can also not accept the love that's given to us by others. I've had that experience. For a long time, I thought that when somebody showed me love unconditionally, without any condition, I was like, there must be something wrong, you know, because I had a limiting belief inside of me that I don't deserve that, you know, that I don't deserve that kind of love, because I didn't know it. I didn't experience it. I didn't have a blueprint inside of me that sort of felt familiar so that I could accept it. So I had to learn that I deserve that kind of love. And that felt scary. So I wouldn't even say that mirroring is easier. It depends on who you are, on your experiences, on your background, on your fears, on your wounds, on your insecurities. But often we get mirrored where we are not believing in ourselves in a positive, supportive way, where we are in conflict within. And that may be because of experiences we've had in the past. So no matter where you are on your journey right now, like, I really learned to embrace it all. Even if, you know, sometimes I had to be in a shitty apartment, and for me it's so important to be in a space that feels home. So what would I do? I would buy a candle in the supermarket to make it homey. I would make myself a wholesome meal. I would wash all the sheets and make sure I feel like I have a cozy bed. You know, like, I know that sounds so too simple, but how, and I've spoken about this before, I know that, but it needs to be repeated, because where you are right now, there's a reason for where you are. And it's not a punishment. Universe, God, source, life is not punishing you. And when you can come to terms with that and actually realize and ask yourself, what would feel really good right now? What do I need? Do I need to take a break from all this inner work and just go outside, have a cake and a coffee, be silly and go to a jumping house, or go to watch all day Netflix and be silly and do all the things that I don't allow myself to do? Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe what you need to do is allow yourself to start writing that book. Maybe what you need to do is, like, go out and actually make a conversation with a stranger and just share something funny, no matter if they understand you or not. But be in your process right now and try not to wish to be somewhere else. It's good to have a vision and a dream, but try to spend most of your time here in the present moment, because there's where all your power is. It's not in the future, it's not in the past, it's here right now. And don't take that opportunity, that moment away from yourself, because it's really powerful to be here right now. And sometimes taking action means not taking action. And sometimes taking action means taking a deep breath and saying, whoa, I'm really not accepting myself right now. So what is the action that I can take to come into more acceptance? What part of me resists? Because this is also the last point I'm going to talk about today, resistance. When we have a lot of resistance to making steps towards what we want, that's when the force comes in and we feel like, why is it not working? You're forcing yourself against what a part of you wants. So when you have the dissonance inside of you, of one part wants to move forward and it's excited, and then the other part is afraid and it's like, we're not doing that, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. Or we do it a little bit, and now I'm getting too afraid and let me fall back. You understand what I mean? This is the inner dissonance. So talk to the part of you that's afraid. What are you afraid of? Where can you not accept yourself? This is, this is the real work. It's not about becoming somebody else. Not at all. You are amazing the way that you are. It's about you seeing your own light. And that sounds so cheesy, I know. But this is really how it is. If you don't accept yourself, you know, sometimes that's hard. But you can start it by those little things like doing something silly. Turning off the YouTube, being outside, going for a walk, like allowing yourself to be silly, whatever that means for you. Follow your joys, and maybe you don't have any energy to do that, and then just do nothing and be in the discomfort of doing nothing. And sometimes that means if you're not attracting the right people, maybe that means taking a break from people and asking yourself, what do I believe about myself for me to attract those people? And how can I make a home in myself first? And that's not going to apply to everybody, because sometimes we need to, and it's time for us to connect and be in relationship with people. But maybe for you, it's right now a moment where it would be good that if you're not around the people that you want to be around, to maybe take a beat and show up for yourself and make yourself feel at home and nourished. And then with that new energy, go out there, go take the activities that bring you joy, and there you will meet people that you connect to, okay? Your soul is your compass. You just need to learn how to listen to your soul, and you can only do that in the present moment, right here, right now. The future is not, going to give you answers. The past is, they can give us answers, but right now is where you can practice listening, practice connecting. And that can take some time, right? We sometimes need to take a wrong turn. We need to fall back so we understand the lesson. Yeah? But be with your process. Don't try to get away from it, because life is the process. I love you.